Fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1833. Cross that one off. Reading resources. So I thought I would show you just a couple of things that I use to help me determine what books I'm going to read next, to find some really good reads and everything else. In fact, one of them is called Goodreads. Are you on Goodreads? Do you know what Goodreads is? Goodreads is a website that you can go to where you can create your own profile and you can put on there any books that you have read, any books that you want to read. You can find reviews. They even have giveaways for where authors are giving away copies of their books. There's a whole bunch of resources. There's communities, there's conversation boards, there's places where you can ask the author questions. There's even a whole bunch of different lists. You can create your own list and get it published and put that list up there as well. You can either just do a rating on a book, or you can actually put a review there about the book. I spent some time on there this morning because I suddenly realized that I hadn't updated Goodreads for a long time. And so I went in there, and it said I had all these different books I was reading. Well, I actually finished those books like 3 years ago. So I got all that stuff updated and everything else. And then I was going through and going, oh, I need to put off that I've read all of these books. And so I'm still working through the process of putting on there all the books that I have read, and just putting star ratings in there for now. Later on, I will go back and put reviews in on some of them. Not all of them, but just some of the ones that I really want to put a review on, I'll go and put a review on. And so that's one of my resources to find. And so then I went through and went into all of these different giveaways that they're having for these books and everything else. And when you put an entry into a giveaway, it puts it on your want to read list. So I have a very extensive want to read list. I know that all the books I have read are not on there. And I'm looking around my office going, oh, I wonder if that book's on there. Oh yeah, I've already got that book on there. I don't have that one on there. So I've been adding a whole bunch of books on there today that I have read, but I haven't put in when I read them, because some of them I don't remember, and other ones I just couldn't be bothered working. I could figure it out, but I just couldn't be bothered figuring it out at the time. And you can tie it to, if you've got an Amazon account, you can tie it to your Amazon account. So you can then turn around and say, import, you can say, show me all the books that I've purchased on Amazon. And then you can go through and you can put them on your want to read list, because you may have them but not read them. Or you can put them on the fact that you have read them and give them a star rating, which is what I did with all the ones that I have read. And then you can say, just don't show these ones, don't want these ones showing, and things like that. So you can put fiction, nonfiction on there. I was actually looking for a list of classics that have stood the test of time, is what I was looking. I thought, well, let me go and have a look. And they had this humongous list of over 1,000 titles on there for considered as classics that have stood the test of time. And I'm like, there's a lot of books in there. And they even said, classics have stood the test of time. And there was books in there that had only been released within the last 10 years. And I'm like, I would not consider them classics. No, not books that have been released in the last 10 years. 20 years, yeah. Because, when you're looking at generations, you're looking around 20 to 25 years for a generation. So I get the 20 to 25 year books in age. So maybe they could be considered classic because they were from a different generation. But anyone within that current time generation right now, you're not classics yet. I'm sorry. But so that's one resource. It's a great resource. In the description, you'll find my link to my profile there, where you can go in and have a look. I'll show it to you in a moment if I can figure out how to share a screen on here. I have not shared a screen on here yet. Interesting. I've lost my little flowy purpley thing. And then the other one that I like is a magazine called Bookmarks. This magazine is awesome. They also have it available online. I actually like the physical copy, but I haven't been to a Barnes & Noble yet to pick it up. It's the only place I can find it physically. The Barnes & Noble's going and picking up Bookmarks. It comes out like every 2 months, and it has all the new releases that are coming out or have come out. There's little reviews on there. We'll show you some of those. And it's a very robust magazine. So if you are a huge book lover like I am, I don't actually have a Bookmarks magazine handy because I haven't purchased one in like over a year. But I thought, let me go see if I can find it. Yeah, I found it online. And I can actually go in and look at it digitally. And I was like, yay. And it's a really, really cool magazine. It is, and when you're looking for books to read, it is one of the best resources that I have found out there as well. And then, of course, you can go Google what's the top 100 bestseller. You can go Google bestsellers and all of that sort of stuff as well. So if you're looking for books to read and you're wanting recommendations and things, on Goodreads, you can actually it's kind of like a social media thing because you can have friends. So you can accept friend requests, you can request friend, you can send friend requests, you can accept friend requests, and you can see what your friends are reading, how many books have they read, how many's on their to read list, how many are they currently reading, and things like that as well. So let's see if I can do this. Let's see, can I do this? Let's see. I think that is the one. Share. Okay, so this is my Goodreads profile. It's written in the description down below there. So you can see here my favorite books are listed all here on my bookcase and everything else. There's a whole bunch of them on there. I have currently read 336 books. That is very low. That is a very low number because I don't have in there all the books I've read. I've got here the list of the current reading that I'm currently reading is 3. That's not true. I've got 6 on the go right now. My to read pile is currently sitting at 369. Now, these are the main ones. Other ones I have gone and put in my own keywords and things, but we don't have to worry about that. This is these are the 3 books I'm currently reading here. My 3 novels. I also have 2 nonfiction that I've got going on at the moment as well, but I don't have them listed on here yet. Now, if you are using a Kindle, I don't know about the other reading programs, but if you're using Kindle and you do any highlights or notes, you can actually say whether or not you want a highlight or a note to show up on your profile. So here's one from the book To Live. This book, I think I was talking about it last night. This is the one novel that has had the most profound impact on me. I have never gotten so emotional with reading a novel before. But I had highlighted this quote in there that life is a whole lot fuller when you stop thinking about yourself and start serving others. And I was sort of like, that just hit home with me. But this whole book, this is the one where a guy is getting set to retire. The day he retires, he finds out that he has cancer. We then find out, and this is all in the first chapter, that his wife is at home currently basically on hospice, and she ends up passing away, but she encourages him to get out there and to live. He doesn't know what exactly that means. He doesn't. So he goes on this journey to try and figure it out. He meets this 16-year-old teenager who's been having some issues and stuff. She becomes like a granddaughter to him. And she starts finding out more about his life as he's finding more about hers, and they actually start to help each other. And there's some cool little twists and turns in there. But this book, for me personally, I actually bought about 10 to 15 copies, and I sent them to different people saying, here, have a read of this, have a read of this. But this book came out on August 30th of 2018, I think was the release date of it. And I got it on Kindle. Fortunately, it was on my Kindle. If it was a physical book, it would have gone flying across the room a number of times. The only reason I didn't throw it across the room was because it was on my Kindle, and I didn't want to break my Kindle. So logic stayed in there. Had it been the physical book, it would have gone flying across the room. But this is one that that affected me very profoundly. And out of all of the stuff that was in this book, this is one quote that stood out to me that I highlighted. Now, I've got other books that I have read where I have highlighted different passages and things. I'm just not showing them right now because to me, this is the one that reminds me why I get out of bed every day. It's not about myself. It's about serving others. And I am always I write in my gratitude journal that I'm always full of love and gratitude for the people I get to help today. That's one of the things I always write in there. So down here, we've got here, that I entered a giveaway for this one. These are the ones that I've gone through. As you can see, Jana De Leon, I love her book. Her books are awesome. So I went through all the ones I have read. They are all, as far as I'm concerned, 5-star ratings. Yes, you can see 4 hours and 4 minutes ago they were updated. And I've got, I've got quotes that I can put in there. There's a friend's comment on my stuff that can go in here. Over here, I've got a list of friends. I've got 161 friends, and here's some of them. Karen's got 710 books. Don's got 361 listed. These are all the books that they have got on there that they have read. And then you got people that I'm following and things like this. You can also come up here, what my interests are, a little bit about me. And then you can come up here to like the community, and you've got groups, discussions, quotes, ask the author, and a place where you can go look for people. And then under browse, you've got different recommendations. You've got these different lists that are under here that you can go in and have a look. You can even search by genre as well. And then if you click on my books, this will be for your own thing. You can see in here some of the books that I have read. If they've got a star rating next to them, they're ones that I have read. These are all the ones that I have read that are here. And sometimes it's got the date added, the date they were read. This one, I can't remember when I read it, but I added it in February of 2013. This is how long I've had my profile. And when I was looking through it, I hadn't updated it for a very long time. So it's all been updated. Now, the other one, the Bookmarks magazine. You come here, and this is their July-August issue. Now, I have to tell you, they've got a lot of stuff in here. This is one of the coolest magazines ever. Now, let's see. I'm just going to come over here and see if that's share. Oh, yep. Okay, we're good. Just making sure you guys can see the magazine. So you come here and you can flip it open, and oh, this is really cool. But here's their index as to what's going to be happening in here. And we come into contents. You got the letter from the editor. You've got bookmark selections with the different pages and things. You can't actually click on them to go to those pages, but we'll get there eventually. And they've got them under the categories literary, crime, science fiction, general biography, blah, 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 blah. And this is what I love. These are the coming soon books. And it has here, these coming in July. These ones coming in August. You've got them by genre as well. And they've got the little blurb about what the books are about. Some of them have pictures, some of them don't. And so this is why I like the actual physical copy, because I can sit there with my marker, my highlighter or whatever, and I can circle ones that I can circle my to read list. Or if a books I've already read, like, well, the coming soon ones I'm interested in. If it's when they're actually doing the book reviews, they've got a have you read section. This is actually sitting on my bookcase. The Book Thief is sitting on my bookcase. None of those ones are all coming out. And it goes through all these different ones where you can mark of like, oh, I want to read that one. That one looks interesting. So when you're wanting to, so what should I read next? You can come here and have a look. Now, they also put in here book groups. So if you have a reading group, they actually have this profile thing that you can put out, and, you may get put into their magazine for a book group that's going on. Here's Pulitzer Prize winning books that are put in there. These are all the different ones. So the awards, you've got Pulitzer Prize books, then you've got biographies, International Booker Prize, Hugo Awards. So you can go through and see what books have won awards. So if you're interested in reading just books that have got awards, you can come. That's a really cool picture. This one here, they're highlighting an author, doing an interview with them. So you get to read those, read the interview, and we get to read more about her book. And there's some reviews in there as well. Notice they don't have all 4-star reviews. They've even got 3-star reviews. Overall, it's got a 3.5 star out of 4. And then you go into different articles that they have, Founding Fathers in Fiction. So you've got stuff about the Founding Fathers that are in here. And then you eventually get into, these are more the one-page ones. There is a section in here where it comes up with, these are basically them here, new book guides. And it tells you what genre it is down the side here. So you can actually come through, circle the book ones that you want. This is why I like the physical copy, because I can actually circle things in there. But it takes you through, how to solve your own murder. That sounds interesting. And you can read, what the story is. It's got here this little piece here. Then it's got what the story is, and it's got some reviews in there, the critical summary. And this is for all of the books that are listed in here. So you can go through and you can read all of these things and figure out what you want to read, what you don't want to read, that sort of thing. If there's any ones there, they've got ones that are highlighted. And these highlight ones are the ones that the magazine themselves have. This is a really good book. We want you guys to read this. Take note of this one. and they just go through the different genres and things, and you can go through these. And I love this because I can just go, oh, okay, I might be looking at that one. I haven't been this far through into the magazine, so this is under biography. Ian Fleming, anything about James Bond, Ian Fleming, I'm in there. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. And that'll go on my to-read list. And these are all in the biography section as well, so you can see who they're about. Oh, now this one I do want to read. Judi Dench, the actress, has this wonderful relationship with Shakespeare. She is she knows Shakespeare extremely well. She was on the Graham Norton show, and they were talking about Shakespeare, and she did this whole she actually quoted a whole bunch of Shakespeare, and she did this whole, like, I think it was a sonnet that she did. And so she has this very deep relationship with Shakespeare, and she's done a lot of plays and movies and stuff with Shakespeare. And she even talks about how Shakespeare comes into everyday life and things like this. It was in this interview, and she was actually there to promote this book. And so based on that interview, I was like, oh, I must remember to get that book. Here it is reminding me that book's there. So, and it is actually on my to-read list. So I'm kind of really excited to get that one eventually and read that one. Let's see, you've got books on history. And then you've got the index here if you've missed any of the books. Books from 2012 that were notables, things like that. And that's basically it. That's that one. So those are two of my favorite resources for finding books to read, along with recommendations from other people as well. If you go onto Amazon, you can type in top 100 biographies, top 100 bestsellers, top 100. You can actually type those and like go to in the category thing, go and type in books, and you can type in things like top 100 biographies, top 100 crime books, top 100 fantasy books, top 100 young adults, and you can type that in and it will bring up the list of 100. Then you can see them and go through and read the reviews and all of that as well. So those are just some ideas on where you can find your next great read. The other way you can find great reads is joining up with book clubs as well. And you can find great reads from those. Some of them you may agree with, some of them you may not agree with. Some of the, and the Love to Read book club, which if you scan this QR code up here, it will take you right to the place in Facebook. There are 3 quick questions that you need to answer in order to get into the group. And our first book that we are reading is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. And we're going to be discussing that book on September the 7th, which is the first Saturday of the month. First Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific time is when we're going to be on Zoom discussing our read for that from the previous month. So you've actually got actually had a few more things, but this is shaping up to be a good book. So I'm kind of excited to talk about it too. And I have some discussion questions already worked out as well. So there'll be some, I just want to have, basically the way it's going to go is we'll go in there, we'll do the welcome, do the housekeeping rules, and then I was going to get, people's feedback on the book, and then we're going to throw in some discussion questions in there and see what comes out. Or it could be that somebody makes a comment there and I want to ask everybody else's opinion on that particular comment, or ask others what they thought of that particular piece as well. So it's going to be a good, lively discussion, I hope. It is going to be, I'm going to put in there, it is going to be a great discussion. So come scan the code here, come join us in the Facebook group. And we're putting stuff in there every single day. There's at least one post going in every day. I'm trying to get more than one post going into the group each day, but there's definitely one post that goes in each day. We have different themes for each day. What are our different themes? That's a very good question. Oh my goodness, that is a very good question. I knew somebody was going to ask me about the themes. I've got to go back and find my list on the themes. We have Mystery Mondays, Trivia Tuesday, Wellness Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, Fantasy Fridays, Shelfie Saturdays, and Story Sundays. And basically, Mystery Mondays, we'll be talking about mystery novels or unsolved real-life mystery cases. So the Mystery Mondays will either be fiction or nonfiction, all based around mystery books. And on the nonfiction side, the questions could be based around solved or unsolved mysteries. So that's always a good one. Trivia Tuesday There could be, we're going to, put some fun facts in there, maybe ask a trivia question in there. Wellness Wednesdays, we're talking about, like today we did a post on that, how reading is an exercise for the brain, like exercise. Reading for the brain is like exercise for the body. And so, yeah. And then we've got, we also look at books, self-help books during that time as well. To Live would be one that we would actually put in there because of the message that book has. So we'd put that one under Wellness Wednesday, but it's looking at self-help books that can help you through, even books on self-care. So it's not just self-help books, but there's also self-care books. There could be recipe books going into there. I just got a new recipe book that was part of my thing from Barnes & Noble, which I did not show you guys last night. I only showed you the 3 novels I got. There was 2 nonfiction books that I got. Actually, is it 2 or 3? 3 nonfiction books I got. One of them is still on the way. The other one I got was Naturally Sweet, which is about taking regular recipes and switching out the sweetener that's in there for something that is not going to raise the blood glucose levels so much. So it's reducing processed sugar in your diet. And so I'm looking at that one, and we can even look at stuff like that, recipe books for different eating plans, different types of things, different fun things, smoothies, all sorts of stuff. Throwback Thursday is looking at the classics. Was there a classic movie that they've made into, if they've adapted for either movie or TV? I know Pride and Prejudice has been done a lot of times. They've had movies, they've had TV series done on Pride and Prejudice. Which is your favorite one? Mine's one with Colin Firth in it. 6 parts, I think it is. Yeah, 6 parts. But there was actually one that I had seen, a series I'd seen before that, which was came out in the 80s or the 90s. There was a British 6-part series on that one, which was very good and got me into reading Pride and Prejudice. So after I'd seen that, I then went and read the book. And I've read the book several times since then. Looking at different classics, sharing quotes from classic novels, even on Trivia Tuesday, we put in what is this, what is the name of the novel that this opening line comes from. Fantasy Friday is looking at different fantasy series. So it could be Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, could be about dragons, it could be paranormal, it could be anything in that realm of things. Could even be fairy tales. And even on some of the Throwback Thursdays and stuff, we ask you, what were your favorite books in your childhood? What were some of the series that you read in your childhood that had an impact on you? What were some of your favorite books from your childhood? Things like that. Shelfie Saturdays is what's in your to read pile. Do you have a system for your books on your bookcase? Do they just throw wherever there's a space, you put a book? Or do you have them alphabetized by author? Do you have them sort of by genre and then alphabetized by author? Do you have them alphabetized by title? How do you organize your books on your shelves? Do you have a reading nook set up? What does your reading nook look like? I don't have a reading nook just yet, but I do have in mind what I would like my reading nook to look like. So there's those sorts of things. And then Story Sunday is looking at different stories, short stories, long stories. What else did I have on there? Hang on, I've got to find my list. Looking at anthologies, literary magazines, shorts. We're looking at the short story fiction side of things for Story Sundays. Maybe it's something that you've written yourself that you want to share with everybody. Do you have any short story recommendations? Do you have an anthology magazine that you like? Are you into creative writing? Have you done any creative writing? What about flash fiction? Flash fiction is set to a word limit of about 500 words or less. So maybe you want to share your piece of flash fiction that you have written. It could be writing a short story in 100 words or less based on a prompt that we give you. So Story Sunday could be, you actually might end up writing some of your own things on that day, or you could be sharing a short story that you like as well. So those are just some of the things we're covering in in the book club. So scan the code, come join us in the book club. We're having a lot of fun. And well, I'm having a lot of fun in there. I want people to come join me. Like I said, we're putting posts in there on a daily basis, and at least one a day. I'm working up to getting more going in there each day. But come join us in there and have some fun, find some cool stuff to read. We can make recommendations in there as well, because I'm going to be asking for recommendations. Hey, we're coming up to our September meeting. At the September meeting, we're going to be announcing the book for September. So what book do you want to, what suggestions do you have for a book to read? So we're going to be asking for that as well. And then when we do the book discussion on the book of the month, we're then going to be announcing at the end of that what our book is going to be for the following month. And then that evening on the podcast, we'll be talking about what we talked about in the book discussion thing. Generally, not specific, but generally talking about how that book meeting went today and announcing what our next book is going to be. So come join us, scan this, come join us in the Love to Read book club. Or you can go search Love to Read book club in Facebook, or I think it's facebook.com/groups/Love to Read book club. It's all over the place. But come join us. We'd love to have you there. I want to discuss books with people. I love to read. So come join us. And go out and have go find a book to read, come out and have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.